Hi guys, Luke here of SimBoxx in association with Clint Patrick. I'm delighted to be joined by manager, trainer, promoter, boxing extraordinaire, Kieran Farrell. How are you doing, Kieran?
Yes, mate, I'm good. I'm good.
Yes, we're the aftermath of what was a return to British boxing with Josh Warrington against Mauricio Lara. Josh Warrington, 30-0, suffers his first defeat with a 9th-round knockout to the unheralded, unknown Mexican. Can I get your initial reaction to Josh Warrington's defeat? I know you're very close with Josh. What was your thoughts initially straight after the fight?
Um, I've seen a lot on social media as well. Luke, like, oh, it should have been stopped earlier, this, that, the other. But what people are forgetting is that it's his dad in the corner, and Josh is the champion. His dad's not sending him out to get hurt. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, whether his dad could see it or not, he's giving his son every chance. So I've got no discredit of what his dad did and sent him back out because he's the world champion who's beat everyone. He's 30. My initial thoughts of the fight was, like I said, I feel like from a manager's point of view, it was like a silly fight to take. Obviously, it's in hindsight now. It's in hindsight, but he's fighting an unknown quantity, and he's bringing nothing to the table. Because if he beats that guy, they'll be like, well, he beat a nobody who's beat nobody. But then even if he beats him and doesn't look very good doing it, everyone like, but then they put a question mark over his head. And then the third and final reason why it was a bad fight was because of what happened. And you get beat off for somebody who's unknown, and then how is he going to rebuild now? Do you know what I'm saying? Is he going to move up a weight? Is it going to be because the weight was too much for him? Finally got to him at 30-year-old. Josh Warrington's been making 57 kilograms since he was 15-year-old. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's got to play a big part in it. Maybe moving up to 9 stone 4 will suit him, but moving up to 9 stone 4, I don't know. I just feel like it was a bad decision in fighting that lad. He didn't really need to fight him, but I hope he's all right, and that's the main thing. His health. That's what it's about.
Yeah, definitely. First and foremost, we wish him well with his recovery. The mental scars will surely outlast the physical scars. I've heard on social media that he went to hospital for a checkup and he's recovering. Kieran, one thing I want to touch on there, and you mentioned it as you was chatting, that obviously we know that Josh's dad is in the corner, and you've been in the corner for your brother Nathan. And I just want to, from your point of view, where does compassion come into it? Do you ever have like your judgment clouded? Do you think that could have been a thing from Josh's dad, that he struggled to differentiate between his son and his boxer? Do you think there was a cloudment of judgment there? I don't know if that's the right way to put it.
No, because I feel if that happened, like if his dad Sean pulled him out in the 4th round when everyone said they should have, maybe he might have got slated for that. Oh, well, Josh is the world champion. Why have you not given him a chance? Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, if anything, it'd be the other way around. He shouldn't have sent him back out or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So, that couldn't have come into it. Sean done a professional job, and he sent his fighter out as a fighter and not as his son. To go back out there as the champion. Yeah, I don't feel like it coming. Me personally, I don't know. Like, seeing my brother get hurt, I won't get in and jump in and start punching myself. You know what I mean? So I don't know, mate. I don't know where it got. I've not been to that place yet. You know what I mean? Nathan's undefeated amateur, undefeated professional. He not been getting beat. You know what I mean? So we're not. We'll cross that bridge if we ever come to it, mate. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. So, when you was boxing yourself, you had a big support from Haywood, and Josh Warrington is known for having his big support from Leeds. The nights at the Leeds Arena are crazy with the throwing the beers and the
I know what you're going to say.
By no fans, and it was behind closed doors. He's not been in the ring for 6
months. A million percent, Luke. Because I'll be honest, like, only a fighter like myself would know, when you sell a lot of tickets and you've got that roar of the crowd, that's going to get you going even more. The crowd make their voices known, and then you fight as a fighter, you make your hands known, and that's that. And Josh is exactly identical to me in that sense. And he had thousands watching him. You know what I mean? He was selling out the Leeds Stadium and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, like, I think it played a massive part. Like, the energy of the crowd will make Josh fire more. the silence of the crowd or the silence of the zero crowd what was there, it was just like an eerie moment, you know what I mean? And like, don't feel like he got into it at all, you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like it has affected that would have played a massive part into it. But like you say, Luke, there could be so many other factors. The weight could be an issue. Sparring could have been an issue. There could have been all sorts. You know what could have went wrong during the camp. But he's a fighter. Fighters fight, and that's simple as that.
Definitely. One thing that I think could have played a part in it, and again, it'd be good to get your opinion on it. Coming into the fight, Josh vacated his IBF title, so there's that element that he was no longer a defending world champion. But also, Josh is 30, he's beat some great names in Carl Frampton, Lee Selby, Kid Galahad. And again, you know Josh very well. Do you think there's a slight possibility that he could have overlooked Mauricio Lara?
No.
He was looking at fights.
No, definitely.
Andrew and
Definitely not. I don't think so, mate. I think what's happened is like I say, from my side of things, if I were managing him, I wouldn't have put him in that fight. I just wouldn't have. You know what I mean? I would have just said, look, sit back. Zucan, if he can go in May, let's do it in May. Let's not just be eager. I know, like, the time out the ring's not good for fighters, but when you put yourself into that position, I just think it's so stupid to then take yourself out of that position, all for the sake of doing what was it, a 10 round or a 12 round? I don't know what it was last night. You know what I mean? Just for the sake of getting rid of the ring rust, there was no point. You know what I mean? Like, there's other ways around doing that. You know, he could have had a run out in abroad. It didn't have to be a big televised. It's like Andy Hard to keep his ranking. He went out and got a fight in Spain after the Kovalev fight just to make sure that he kept his ranking. He could have gone on low key and done that himself. Do you know what I'm saying? So and fought a journeyman. He could have fought a journeyman. You know what I mean? And would have had to pay him a lot of money, but they would have still fought him. You know what I mean? So.
Definitely. Do you think he takes the immediate rematch with Mauricio Lara? Do you think he sits down with his team and decides that he wants to get straight back in there and right the wrong? Or do you think he just puts it down as a bad night at the office and moves on to those bigger fights?
Well, what bigger fights is there for him now? Unless he puts that one right, you know what I mean? Because he's the number one featherweight, but now he's gone beat by like probably a rank number 120 featherweight in the box rec ratings. You know what I mean? So like, he's got to right his wrong and say it was a bad night in the office, and then hopefully he can get the Zucan fight or the Gary Russell Jr. fight, and then go on to try and become that guy, the number one. And if he beats either of them, then he is the number one featherweight in the division, even though he is anyway. Then he's solidified it as he was the best featherweight. You know what I mean? But then, like I say, mate, I feel like it was just the wrong fight for him, you know what I mean? But and that's in hindsight, but I had a bad feeling for him before he went into the ring. And that's when I put that picture up last night. Good luck to my mate. And I had actually said to me, man, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, interesting times. We wait to see where we go next with Josh Warrington. Moving further down the card, Kieran, Zelfa Barrett, he picked up a win against Kiko Martinez, but this win has been overshadowed by the scorecards, 118, 111 twice, 116, 113 in favour of Zelfa Barrett against Kiko Martinez, who looked great at 34. I think this is very unfair on Zelfa from one point, that he's going to get a lot of flack. He's not in control of the judges' scorecards, and also for Kiko Martinez to put in a performance like that at his age, after the miles and the record that he's got, and he's put in years. What was your thoughts on the fight and then on the scorecards?
I don't really think the age is a matter. He's only 34. I mean, 34 for for a featherweight, super featherweight, super bantamweight. That is he's knocking on the door. To be fair, but 34 is not an old age really. He's a strong guy. He's 52 fights experience. He's a former world champion. Felt like it was the wrong fight for Zelfa. It was a close enough fight. It was a close enough fight with a smaller guy. But I mean, I'll be honest, I had Kiko Martinez winning it. But look, I'll be honest, the 116, 113 card, you could not really have grumbled with that. It's like similar to when Amy Timlin fought Carly Skelly, and you can score a fight one way, I score a fight another way. On this occasion, I actually liked what Martinez were doing. After 8 rounds, I had Martinez 7 rounds to 1. But I could have said that it was 5 rounds to 1 and 2 shares, or I could have said it was 5 rounds to 2 and 1 share. So when I look at it that way, Zelfa definitely won the last 3 or 4. and maybe there was one here, give or take here or there. Do you know what I'm saying? So I can't say that Martinez won it handily because he didn't. But throughout the fight, on a roll, he had a bit of a roll where round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like they all looked like he was in his favour, mate. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like it will look Zelfa will look her, but Zelfa will make the adjustments and get the win on the second time round, and I think he can look good doing it. But I think he's got to assert himself, stand his ground, and let his right. He weren't throwing his right hook a lot. He thrown a lot of left hooks and kept missing. But it was the right hook he should have been looking for. Kiko Martinez was jumping in with a screw shot. When you jump in with a screw shot, it's a dangerous move to do. If Zelfa was on the back foot, took half a step back, or even just sat back on the back foot and threw that right hook and timed him as he jumped in, it could have put him asleep. You know what I mean? So that's what I'd be looking for, just practicing the right hook and and go again and assert my feet, stay there a little bit more, stand there a little bit more with him earlier on instead of running and jabbing and moving. And I think he'll do a job on him next time. But last night I felt like Kiko Martinez won the fight.
Yeah, we do expect the rematch there. It was a good learning fight for Zelfa, but the fight in general has been overshadowed, as I say, with those scorecards, Kieran, and it's becoming more and more common in British boxing. We had the Lewis Ritson fight last year against Vasquez, and that was wildly scored in two opposite ways by the judges. Where do you sit on this, Kieran? Where do you sit on the absurd scoring cards? You know, people are saying that Britain's becoming the new Germany, that the away fighters are not going to get a result over here. Where do you sit on that?
It is. I get that. No, I fully get that. You know, like 100%. I think that you bang on there. That why would fighters want to come over here? I'll tell you why fighters would want to come over here, because they get paid well over here. You know what I mean? So they will want to come over here. You know what I mean? But then the same is that they've also got to know that they're in for an hard time. This is boxing. This has been going on for years. When Tyson Fury fought McDermott. What's he called now? I forgot his first name. He's called McDermott.
Yeah, John.
What is it? Big John McDermott. When he fought Big John McDermott, he got beat in that fight. He got beat and he got his hand raised, and it was like, wow, that's a joke. This has been going on for years. You know, whether it's two English fighters or it's an English fight versus a foreign fighter or what, and it goes on all over the world. It goes on in America. It goes on in Germany, it goes on all over. This is part of boxing, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you think, oh, is it corrupt? I think of a bit of everything goes on, mate. But this is a sport we love, and it gives us something to talk about today. So it is what it is. Look, we've got to crack on in it and just say, look, what has happened. We're not going to grow or move on from it by crying about it. Let's just wipe the spilt milk up and let's go again. You know what I mean? And see what's what.
Definitely. But do you think that in terms of judges, that we could maybe see an overvamp of maybe ex-fighters coming in as judges, or maybe, you look at the referee in the ring and nobody's closer than the ref, and the judges are fixed around the ring. And when we're watching it on a TV, we get multiple angles. We get to see, different parts of the fight, whereas the judge is sat in the same spot throughout the fight. Do you think that plays a part, that they're only seeing one angle of a fight, if that makes sense?
Yeah, this is the Queensborough rules, though, isn't it? And to be honest, like, them judges sat where they sat, and 3 judges sat where they sat. That's just boxing. You know what I mean? So, like, you're not gonna start sending them to watch it on telly, are we? You know what I mean? And say, like, and do like a video thing. What's it called, VAR or something like that? We can't start doing that. You know what I mean? We can't start doing that. So it is what it is. Like, it's just an unfortunate event. Look, there's been many a times as an amateur where I fought and won. I fought and won hands down. I know I won hands down, but I never got a decision. It is what it is. And a good fight is only going to be the one who comes back and comes back from that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, never mind Kiko Martinez, whether we got a decision or not. We'll see. Like, if there's a rematch there and they've talked about a rematch, let's do it. But I know that Zelfa Barrett will beat him in a rematch, and I feel like he'll beat him in a rematch. But that's up to Kiko Martinez now to go and show everyone that he did win the first one and show everybody. But will he do it or will he not? Will he just cry about it? You know what I mean? Like, there's too many people crying about shit. You can't cry about spilt milk, man. You know what I mean? You got to mop it up and go again. Simple as that.
Definitely. So let's look forward. February 20th was scheduled to be the rematch between Amy Timlin and Carly Skelly.
Wait, so we've got more fights to talk about on the fights last night. Go on, who else was on?
Yeah, no problem. We'll go through those. So we had Leigh Wood. He knocked out Reece Mould for the British featherweight title. It was a good fight.
So,
what was your thoughts on that?
Reece Mould. I've heard a lot about Reece Mould. Another big ticket seller, strong kid. The timing was wrong for him. It's not his time yet. The timing was perfect for Leigh Wood. Leigh Wood's been about for ages. I think Leigh Wood made his debut in 2011. I think he boxed on the Carl Froch undercard in Nottingham Arena when I boxed when I first signed with Dave Caldwell. And that was in 2012, May 2012. So I remember Leigh Wood, and he's been about for that length of time. He's been in big fights before, so the experience was there. Reece Mould will come again, but he needs to. It's bad for him because I'll be honest, I was exactly the same as Reece Mould. I wanted to come and have a fight all the time and just keep walking forward, but you can't do that. You've got to be able to show that little bit of where you're going to feint. Instead of just stepping in all the time, you feint first before you go in, you know what I mean? Do something different. Like, you were just too predictable. Walking forward with your hands up, you're just going to get hit, you know what I mean? And I've even learned through training, fighters like, look, you don't need to walk forward. Who you showing that you're a machine? Who needs to know you're a machine? Just continue, bro. You know what I mean? Do your thing. You don't need to start trying to walk through walls. It's stupid. You know what I mean? Take half a step back. I never done it. I can't. I never done it. I know I never done it. But there comes a time where you've got to, and Reece Mould needs to go back to the drawing board now and work on his boxing skills because he's got them. But walking forward walking into punches is not going to get you anywhere. You know what I mean? Who else was on?
Yeah, so we had Hopey Price, Dalton Smith, and Ibrahim Nadim all picked up wins.
Ibrahim Nadim, good win over Johnny Phillips early in his career. Fair play to him. I trained with Ricky Adams, and I've got a lot of time for Ricky. Hopey Price looked well. Shorter guy who he boxed looked well though, and he can only beat who's in front of you, and he'll get some good learning, valuable rounds there against that kid. And Dalton Smith, like everyone's raving over Dalton Smith, and he is a solid fighter. I will say he's a solid fighter, but he's a solid fighter and he does everything good. He doesn't waste any shots. He's good on his front foot. Pressure fighter, but a counter punch or a wait for them to make a throw first. But for me, Nathan Farrell beats him all day long, and that's the truth. Put that out there. Nathan Farrell beats Dalton Smith all day long.
Is that a fight that we could possibly see at some point in the future?
Well, that's the fight. I've texted Matchroom this morning and said, let's do it. Let's not mess about. Let's do it. If we want to do it, now's the time. The English title's vacant. Nathan's been out. I know he's been out. But if we can get Nathan 6 rounds in March out in Spain or wherever, then we'll go and do that. And we're happy to entertain Dalton Smith in May.
I think that's the kind of...
saying he's going to fight April, May time. Let's do it, mate. You know what I mean? Let's just go.
I think that's the kind of energy that we need to see, because when you look at a card like Matchroom last night and there was a lot of dropouts and late replacements, I'm sure with somebody like you and Nathan, there's certainly not going to be dropouts. You're going to come to fight. You're going to come to win, definitely. I think that's what we need for somebody like...
Nathan's there. Nathan's obviously not been active, which is the only thing what I'd say Dalton's got in his favour is the consistency. He's had the fights consistency since when they both started having the debuts and that. But what I'll say about Nathan Farrell is my brother, and it might be that biased thing. I don't know, but I know that Nathan's special, as in you can throw a handful of sand at him and you're still not going to land a glove on him. But when he whacks you, you know you've been hit. You know what I mean? And I don't care about knockouts. Look, them guys who we fought, they was running round. As soon as they felt the power, they ran around. Dylan Draper will tell you, Dylan Draper's a good lad. He talks to us all the time. And he knows Nathan Farrell's power is on another level, mate. You know what I mean? So look, I want to make the fight. Let's do the fight. Like, you know what I mean? Let's do Dalton Smith versus Nathan Farrell. Let's get it going, mate. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. We heard it here first.
First on SimBoxx, mate. SimBoxx to get all the inside knowledge, mate. I'm telling you.
We love it. We love to see it. Kieran, let's get a bit of info on the Amy Timlin Carly Skelly fight. I spoke to Dave Cole last week. We got an update on the injury. Where are we at with that? I'm sure Amy will be very disappointed to pull out of the fight, but her health and her well-being first.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like Carly Skelly's like should. Well, I'm not. I know she's going to be upset. So whatever she put on Twitter and that, and fair play to her, you know what I mean. I get it. You know what I mean. I get all of what she put, but like saying we're cut from a different cloth and that. Amy Timlin's a young girl, man. She's 20-year-old, and if she's got an hernia and she's sore and she's got like it's all swollen, that's no good. You can't be going in the ring like that. So that was based upon why Amy Timlin decided to call it in and say, look, I'm not going to be fucking right for the fight, you know what I mean? But look, Amy Timlin is a 10 times better boxer than Carly Skelly. It's 100%. The reason she drew the first fight was because the big stage and Eddie Hearn come and give her a fist bump and she got 5,000 new followers on Instagram a day before a fight. It's all too much. It was all so much. Chisora sat down to us. Derek Chisora sat down and was saying, yo, man, you're a badass and that. And we're like, yes. She's a badass, you know what I mean? I'm like, she's like, whoa, what the fuck's this? Seen this guy and tell you a million times, you know what I mean? Now he's telling me I'm a badass, you know what I mean? So, like, it was all surreal, but look, she knows about it now. She's learned it. And I hope Carly Skelly brings the best when they have the rematch because she's going to get schooled.
So we're definitely looking at getting that fight rescheduled at some point in the future.
The fight's getting rescheduled, mate. The fight's going to be rescheduled whenever they can get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get out on the card. Let's get Dalton Smith versus Nathan Farrell. Let's get Amy Timlin versus Carly Skelly. And let's get Brian Rose versus Scott Fitzgerald all on one card, mate. You know what I mean?
That's exactly where I was leading to next. A big signing for Kieran Farrell Promotions in Brian Rose. He's been there. He's done that. He's won the British title outright. Kieran, what's left in the tank for Brian Rose? Obviously, we're looking at the Scott Fitzgerald fight. Is the desire still there?
Well, yeah, because like what happened is with Brian he fought Fowler and he didn't get going till about 4 or 5 rounds, and then when he got going, he did all right, and he only got beat by like a few rounds really. He got beat convincingly, but Fowler is the machine, man. You know what I mean? I've known Anthony Fowler since I was a 11-year-old. And he's a very good fighter, and I've got loads of respect for Fowler. And Brian, another fighter he'd never said that he was retired. People assumed he was retired because nothing was going on. But what's been going on in 2020, what we all don't know about, is COVID-19. He's not like, and he's not going to just dive in with anyone. But he wants the Scott Fitzgerald fight. It's been made twice, and Scott's pulled out twice. No, Scott's had his problems in that, and no one was trying to get on that. But when Eddie Hearn mentioned that he's coming back, we're like, right, let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's do it. Let's sign us up. You know what I mean? And we've been offered fights in America. We took a fight in America, but the kid in America actually got taken off the card. It was a Matchroom USA card, but that's another fight what we like to revisit. So we're hearing that Scott Fitzgerald's fighting April time, and he thinks he's on of a rematch with Fowler. Brian Rose is a potential banana skin. That's why Scott Fitzgerald don't want to fight him, and that's the truth. You know what I mean? It's potential banana. Why won't we fight Brian Rose when he can fight some Spanish guy with a decent record, blow him out there, and make himself look good, and get a big money fight with Fowler? That we already know that. You know what I mean? But look, I'll keep pushing, and hopefully we get that Fitzgerald fight for Brian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, being from the Northwest, I'm fully aware of how big of a fight this is with Blackpool against Preston. You know, records go out the window, and if, you know, some people think Brian Rose's best days are behind him, or Scott Fitzgerald's younger and fresher, that all goes out the window when it's a local derby. But do you feel like Brian, at the minute, is currently on the outside looking in, given that the money seems to be around the Fitzgerald-Fowler rematch that Eddie Hearn's so keen to make? Do you think Brian's on the outside looking in on that?
Yeah, but the only thing is, Luke, what I say is it's like Fitzgerald. Everyone's going on like he's won the British title outright, and he's gone and fought Demetrius Andrade over in New York. The other guy done that. That's Brian Rose who done that. Fitzgerald beat Anthony Fowler on a razor thin split decision. Yeah, he got it by a point on 2 cards or something like that. Don't forget, if he didn't knock him down, he wouldn't have had that 10-8 round. Fowler probably were winning the round, you know what I'm saying? And that could have easily gone the other way around. Then Fitzgerald was irrelevant. No one would be talking about Fitzgerald. Then when he fought Cheeseman, a lot of people thought Cheeseman beat him. That was another split decision. It might be a unanimous decision, but it was a razor thin one, and it was by a round or 2 on a couple of cards. You know what I mean? So, Scott Fitzgerald still got it all to prove, where Brian's proved it all. He's already done all that. So for me, managing Brian, I'm just looking at look, Jay-Z says it. He says, would you rather be the latest hot trend, or would you rather be Ralph Lauren? You got to be Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren's been there, done it, and he's still going. And that's Brian Rose. Brian Rose is Ralph Lauren. And all Scott Fitzgerald was the latest trend, or the madman. That's all it is. But when the madman gets beat by Ralph Lauren, it's like, well, that's Ralph Lauren, mate. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. It's exciting times. Kieran, we look forward to that. Can we get some updates on the rest of the stable? We've got Ben Ridings, Conor Lynch, Matt Bailey, Niall Riding, the new addition. Can we get some updates on what's going on?
Niall, that's Niall fielded. So they've just, to be honest, Luke, I've strategically scaled back with my management. I'm more put my time into quality fighters rather than quantity. I've been quantity. I've had the quantity before. I've had 30 odd fighters under my name before, and it didn't benefit me anyway. So what I'm doing now is putting my time and effort into quality rather than quantity. And obviously the stable as it is. Got my brother. We're looking at a Dalton Smith fight. Amy's looking at the Skelly rematch for the Commonwealth. Brian Rose is looking for the Scott Fitzgerald fight. And then in my own gym, I've got Matt Bailey, who was signed up prior to the pandemic. So he got his license. He's not even got his license yet because he's got to do his medicals, but there's no point in doing them yet because there's no shows, you know what I mean? What there's no promoters what are going to put on an unknown flyweight. Do you know what I'm saying? So they're not going to put him on there. Then the other one is Niall Fielding's just recently come in January. And, I've got a lot of time for Niall. He trains hard, really committed. He's been sparring up at Gallagher's, getting good rounds in. Alex Dillman, Paul Butler. So we've been there quite regular. Was there last week before. Then we've got Conor Lynch, 6-0. He were meant to fight. Him and Conor and Ben were meant to fight on the 6th of February, but we were meant to be fighting in Spain. Now, you got to go by the local government guidelines. So I lost 500 quid on the flights, what I booked you, and I booked the flights, and then we couldn't go. So it was just a misfortunate event what happened. But then I am hearing that I'm hearing from higher people that the government is going to ease up on the flights to Spain for UK citizens next month. So that's something what we're looking at doing. The stable are looking at to get out over in Spain as and when. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So we're busy. We're busy with it all. The training hard. But I require as a trainer, Luke, I require 110% commitment. And if you're not 110% commitment, you shouldn't be in my gym, and that's simple as that. You know what I mean? So that's hence why I've got a small stable, because I can't be asked with any bullshit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Kieran, it's been a pleasure talking to you this morning, mate. Is there anything you'd like to add to finish?
Just one more thing. The reason why I've not been signing a load of fighters is because I can't. We can offer you Matchroom, we can offer you Queensbury, but that's in the away corner. Do you know what I'm saying? Like people, if they want to sign up and turn pro, they're going to be fighting in the away corner because the superstars from the amateurs get the promotional contracts. That's just the way it works. So anyone getting offered contracts, anyone getting offered the manager contracts and saying that they're going to get them out on Queensbury, that's for a reason, because they're going to be in the away corner and they're facing defeat. even if you win the fight, you could be facing defeat, because that's just the way the sport works. And that's why I'm not signing loads of fighters up. I signed a few up. I signed a couple up from Birmingham, but I did tell them as well, like, look, we will get going, but when we get going, you know what I mean? Like, as I showed everyone at the start of 2020, January, we did the M22 promotion show, me and Joe Gallagher, and Sam Hyde fought for the English against Dion Juma, and then January we did February we did the amateur show, March we did a professional show, Bolton Arena, and we had more booked in. Yeah, we had more booked in, and we just kept going, mate. You know what I mean? So, like, once we get started, we do get started. But, like, I'm not gonna just start bullshitting a load of fighters, telling them that I'm gonna get them out on Sky Sports and stuff like that, because that's a lie. And I got lied to when I turned pro, and I'm not gonna do that to other fighters. You know what I mean? Because I was once a fighter myself, and I can't do it to anyone. You know what I mean? So I'm just chilling. We've got to get COVID-19 out of the way. If we can get fights in Spain, let's do Spain. If we can't, we can. But we'll keep knocking on the door, mate. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. As I say, Kieran, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for your time this morning, and we'll catch up again soon.
Perfect. Nice one, Luke. See you later, mate. See you in a bit.